Interestingly, of course, at least in the case of psychedelics, whilst it does sort of open the mind, subjectively speaking, it actually has the opposite effect on the brain, right? If you actually look at brain activity when people are taking psychedelics, you expect that brain activity would start going crazy and increase. But if I'm not mistaken, on psychedelics, brain activity actually decreases.
Mm. Yeah, that's because psychedelics switch off the bits of the brain which are controlling your brain. And by the way, that's why we are now starting studies of psychedelics in addictions, because we want to switch off those circuits which are driving people to keep taking drugs, because it's that ability to disrupt ingrained patterns of brain function that make them so powerful.
Doesn't Aldous Huxley have a good quote on this?
Yeah, in terms of what is he said, yes, as a result of taking mescaline and having the experience of having his mind opened, he said something like, well, he came up with he reasoned that if his mind had been opened by mescaline, there must have been something closing his mind. And he said, the brain is an instrument of focusing the mind. And that's one of the great insights in modern science. I mean, because that's exactly 50 years on, we showed he was right. We showed that psychedelics switch off the brain to allow the mind to expand.
This, by the way, is the concentric circle between all of this drug talk and the usual subject matter of my channel, which is philosophy. I think when I first heard you say this on another show that I was listening to, I had to like pause and stare into the air for a moment. Hold on. That subjective feeling, the qualia of the consciousness, the experience expanding and going crazy and increasing is correlated with the material thing, the brain, switching off, as if it sort of releases this other part of there's something fascinating in there that needs to be investigated, not just, although of course it does need to be investigated by you wonderful scientists, but I think that philosophers of mind should spend a bit of time thinking about that too.
Utterly. I highly, completely agree with you. I think trying to explore consciousness without studying psychedelics is now missing a trick.
It might be impossible, in fact, to do it seriously without taking it into consideration.
I wouldn't disagree with you, but I don't want to overstate. I'm not a philosopher of consciousness, but I wouldn't disagree with you.
Yeah, I won't quote you on it.